Jake here for American Muscle, and today I'm taking a look at the C&L Super Sport cross-drilled and slotted rear brake rotors for 2015 and newer Mustangs. Now before we dive in here, I just want to make a quick note about the fitment, that these are going to fit standard or non-performance pack GT models, and they're also going to fit EcoBoost models that have the performance pack. Now, brakes are some of the most important components of your vehicle. If you're looking for a way to upgrade your Mustang's braking performance without spending a fortune, then these drilled and slotted rotors are really worth some serious consideration. Now, traditionally, manufacturers equip their cars with solid discs from the factory, and while they work fine in most applications, there's definitely room for improvement there. And one of the best ways to do that is by upgrading to a set of drilled and slotted rotors like these, which are going to be extremely helpful in dissipating heat. Now, heat is the enemy of braking performance, and that's where these channels and the holes in the faces of the rotors come in. And as you apply the brakes, friction and heat are going to build up on the faces of the rotors, and these channels help funnel that heat away from the pads and the rotors themselves. Now, these holes that are also drilled in the face of the rotor just allow for another escape route where that heat can dissipate, and it's going to get funneled out of the rotors through the central vanes right here. So all those hot gases have plenty of places through which to escape. Less heat means less chance of fading and better overall braking response. Now, if you've ever had a set of brakes get hot on you, well, you know how scary of an experience that can be. So doing everything you can to avoid it is certainly worth it. And that's all to say you're going to get much better heat dissipation here with these, and that's going to mean that your braking performance will be improved over stock. Now, these also pair well with a set of upgraded pads. We've got a bunch of different options for those on our site as well. And there's also a matching set of front brake rotors too. So if you want to get a full match set for your Mustang, you have that option available to you. Just check out our site. The rotors here are constructed from CNC machined premium cast iron, so they're going to be similar in construction to your standard OEM brakes. As you can see, they're also finished in a bright zinc electroplating, and that's going to help prevent against rust and corrosion for a long time to come. But that cast iron construction means that the price stays low. Speaking of, this set is going to run you about $150 for both rotors, and that's very much on the lower end of the price spectrum for rear brake rotors. Now, especially since these have that drilled and slotted design, they're about the least expensive option for one of those for this generation of Mustang too. And again, they pair well with the matching set of front brakes, which we do have available on our site, and I'd highly recommend picking up a set of those too, and think about upgrading your pads while you're in there as well, because they're going to pair really nicely with these upgraded rotors. Installation is going to come in at a 2 out of 3 on our difficulty meter and should take you about 2 hours to install. Now, swapping brake rotors is a pretty straightforward job. It can be a little bit time consuming depending on how long your old ones have been on there, and of course you're going to have to remove the calipers to get these on as well. However, this is definitely a job that you can accomplish at home. And to show you just how to get it done right there in your driveway, let's throw it over to one of our AM customers.
Alright, for today's install we're going to be using a electric ratchet with a 18mm socket. We're going to be using another 18mm socket with a 1/2 inch, 3-inch extension, a impact ratchet. Then we're going to be using our torque wrench to make sure everything's torqued down correctly, a 21mm impact socket, and our impact wrench just to make sure we can get these wheels off. Alright, today we're going to be installing the C&L drilled and slotted rotors on my 2021 Mustang GT. Before you get started, you want to make sure you jack the car up and use your jack stands accordingly. And make sure if you're on an incline, put your wheel blocks in front so it doesn't roll anywhere. Alright, now we're just going to go ahead and get straight into the install. Alright, so what you want to do, you want to take your ratchet. I'm using a 3-inch extension with an 18 socket. You're going to get right behind. You're going to take your 2 bolts off of the mounts. If you want to just get them started with that, then go right underneath. Break them loose. If you have a handy dandy tool, you can continue to use that. I just feel like it's easier if you have an electric one just to remove them. take your bolts out, set them to the side. All right. And from here, you can take your whole assembly off. Set it back. And from here, you're just gonna take your rotor, take it straight off the vehicle, set it to the side, and then take your new C&L drilled and slotted. They did a really nice job on them. Really cool finish. All right. And if your car doesn't have many miles on them, you'll be able to just take the same assembly, just slide it straight on. It fits direct fit. And then from here, Ford specifically says to discard the old bolts and put brand new Ford parts in. So just pick them up at my local Ford dealer. I'm gonna take them, get them started right here. Make sure everything's all snug. Always get them started by hand. Go ahead and get your bottom one. All right. Then once they're all good and started, take this or your manual ratchet instead of your electric one. Make sure you turn it to the right direction so you're not sitting there undoing the progress you've already done. All right. Now, from here, you're gonna wanna take your torque wrench because Ford says these bolts are supposed to be at 129 foot-pounds of torque. Slide them on in. I found the best way, if you're working with a larger torque wrench, would be to approach it from the bottom angle. It gives you the most leverage. I always put my hand on the back of it just to ensure that it's going straight. All right, when I'm done, then you can just slide it straight through the back. Get it right underneath. I recommend going underneath the brake line just so when you're pulling it down, you're not bending this too much. As you can see, this one wasn't tightened down as much by the all right, take it down. Go back to the side, and then should be all good. And you can go ahead and put your wheel back on. And that's going to be the installation of the C&L drilled and slotted rotors. For the other side, you repeat the exact same steps.
That's going to wrap it up here for our review and install of the C&L Super Sport cross-drilled and slotted rear brake rotors for 2015 and newer Mustangs. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, for all things Mustang, be sure to keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.